love the diversity. Everything's changing every day. The markets are changing. The weather obviously is always changing in Nebraska. The people, and that's another great aspect of our industry, is the people that are involved, both from people you work with, the people, your peers in the industry, as well as the customer you're serving. It's creating something that you serve to the consumer, that it's just a great product. It becomes part of your livelihood and becomes a part of your identity. Of course, environmental issues are always being more and more of a concern, and we want to be proactive in that. So we worked with the City of Columbus and developed a composting program where we could blend urban yard waste with our livestock waste and compost those to provide a more sustainable product for our farm and feed yard. And that kind of began to evolve. What Samson stood for was a sustainable business that worked with composting, using that to add fertilizer to our fields, raise the corn to feed the cattle, and then take the manure and waste to the from the feed yard to the composting area again. And that actually kind of grew for us quite well, and we started working with other farmers and feed yards. We looked at ways that how do we manage our manure so it doesn't become a waste product, and compost it and actually have a very good, sound fertilizer product that goes into the crop production. It's very sustainable because it's all organic it does not leach, so it's stabilized and actually provides microorganisms that add extra value to the soil health. We were fortunate to have some great relationships with Certified Angus Beef. We were a CAB licensed feed yard, and then shortly thereafter my wife decided she wanted to try to have a bed and breakfast and restaurant. So we purchased a building in Columbus, and she started her restaurant called Traditions Inn and a bed and breakfast. So that we became the first then licensed combination CAB feed yard and restaurant in the country. And that was a very fun experience because you got to see firsthand the reactions to serving high quality beef and the excitement that people had in eating a good steak.
Traditions Inn is our family business, and we've been open for 17 years. When we first started, we had bed and breakfast and restaurant, a little gift shop and pub, and over the years the business has kind of changed and we've gotten more into catering. We no longer do the bed and breakfast, but met lots of great folks from all over the world. Had the opportunity to become friends with lots of them. We still see a lot of those same people who come into the restaurant, and we serve lunch every day, Monday through Saturday. We try to do a lot of locally sourced things, have our own little herb garden in the back, grow a lot of our own vegetables, and do as much homemade food as we possibly can. So we're just proud to serve the community, and this is my grandson Jack. He's here with us today, just helping us out a little bit.
You want me to help you? There.
Certified Angus Beef asked us if we'd be interested in producing beef for the European Union market, and we thought we'd give it a try, and we wrote a program manual to comply with the regulations to export meat to Europe. We worked with a couple of the ranchers too, because you can't have a certified feed yard without some certified ranchers to bring the cattle in. Got them started, and a couple packers started asking who wrote our program manuals, and before I knew it, I was in a new business because I was able to do that. And we went from having 2 or 3 program manuals that we wrote to 22 of them in a couple months. And we found we were in a new business, certifying cattle, auditing for export markets, also for domestic markets, for the certified natural programs. As we expanded the auditing program, we developed a vet quality assurance program that combines beef quality assurance with the vaccination protocols through the veterinary clinic and agent source, and found that the feed yards were very receptive to that, and that they saw additional value for compliance with the known programs. Then we built some labeling for meat around that and created a Nebraska grain-fed beef label as well as a Northern Prairies beef label, just to identify, can we utilize the systems that are in place to provide a high-quality product that's third-party auditing practices behind it, so we could have a guarantee for the quality, safety, and welfare of the animal behind it. And if you ever see somebody who gets upset about poor service, it's a waitress, because they're most critical about their own profession. And yet, if a waitress is going to improve their performance, they usually look for other waitresses to help them support them. And beef quality assurance is the same way, is that we are most critical about ourselves and the producers that we're around, our peer group. And beef quality assurance just puts that together in a format that allows us to say, this is what we believe is very effective, and we are going to support each other with it, and also be critical of one another if we're not complying with the beef quality assurance guidelines. And the producer who maybe not is doing as well as he could be, is he far more receptive to another beef producer coming in to his operation and saying what you need to improve, and he'll respond to it. You bring a third party that's not involved in the beef industry, and they're going to be a little more defensive and negative reactive to it. So that's what really excites me about the beef quality assurance program, is that it's a producer-driven auditing program. We self-audit and are probably more highly critical of each other than we would be from an outside party coming in. Where that all really fits then is, you look at beef quality assurance, is that it's using those same principles: animal welfare, animal care, good nutrition, good water, good environment for them to live in, and that it just brings it all to home to each individual, but also allows us to work together to identify what are those best practices. So you're not sitting there in isolation, you're working as an industry, working together, finding those best practices, modifying them to fit your individual areas. In order to make it all happen, it really starts with a strong staff. And no matter where I'm looking at, whether it's out the composting areas, the office here where we're doing the auditing, I can completely rely on them. We're all on the same page. When you're doing the right things, you just know it's right, and that it's providing a good environment for the animals, it's providing a good environment for family, it's providing products that are wholesome for the consumer.
Scott is always progressive, always looking for new avenues, new and better things in the cattle industry. And he has a passion for the cattle industry, I want to say, and really dedicated to the industry.